The extradition to the US of doomsday preacher Apollo Quiboloy is back on the president's table. Unemployment inches up to 4.9% in June 2026 as fresh graduates enter the labor market. Canada's Mark Carney slips a subtle jab at Donald Trump over a teleprompter glitch. Pole vaulter Obiena comes close to returning to the world's top 10 as he captures back-to-back gold medals in Germany. And Filipina tennis star Eala kicks off her Canadian Open campaign with a win against Alycia Parks. Doomsday preacher Apollo Quiboloy's transfer to the US faces delays after the US asked for his extradition August last year. Quiboloy has been in the Federal Bureau of Investigation's most wanted list since 2021 for sexual trafficking. Ambassador to the US, Jose Manuel Romualdez, said last year that the extradition request was filed in June 2025 and had been sent to the Department of Justice. A year later, DOJ spokesperson Rafael Martinez tells reporters on Thursday, August 6, the agency, quote, has not officially received any document indicating that the United States has formally requested the extradition of Apollo Quiboloy. Martinez adds, under the Philippine-US extradition treaty and applicable law, the DFA would be the first point of contact for such a request. Initial inquiries may therefore be directed to the DFA. But Ambassador Romualdez tells Rappler the formal request has been transmitted to the Department of Justice. Meantime, the Department of Foreign Affairs confirms it has received the United States government's extradition request and that the DFA has endorsed the request to the Department of Justice. The ball is now clearly in President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s court. In 2024, Marcos said Quiboloy had to face his local cases first before any talks on his US extradition could be entertained, and said this was not a priority. An ally of detained former President Rodrigo Duterte, Quiboloy faces a trafficking case in a Pasig City court and separate cases of sexual abuse of a minor and child in Quezon City. The Philippine Statistics Authority reports the country's unemployment rate inched up to 4.9% in June 2026 as a wave of fresh graduates entered the labor market. But nearly half of the new job seekers were unable to find work. The latest rate is equivalent to 2.59 million Filipinos without jobs, higher than the 2.50 million recorded in May. It is also significantly higher than the 3.7% unemployment rate posted in June 2025. National statistician Dennis Mapa says 650,000 Filipinos entered the labor force for the first time in June. Of these new workforce members, 592,000 were aged 15 to 24, as many are likely fresh graduates looking for their first jobs. Only 310,000 of these young newcomers found employment, while 282,000 did not. Across all 650,000 new job seekers, 328,000 found work and 322,000 remained unemployed. Meanwhile, underemployment stood at 12.1%, representing 6.11 million workers who wanted additional hours of work or another job. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney takes a swift jab at US President Donald Trump after a teleprompter malfunctioned in the middle of a news conference on housing policy.
I would now like to inform you that the teleprompter has ceased to function. Unlike a certain world leader, I do not view this as a conspiracy.
Carney's comment appeared to reference Trump's remarks at last year's UN General Assembly. Trump sought an investigation after a stalled escalator and a non-functioning teleprompter delayed his speech. Carney's office and the White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Relations between Canada and the US have been fraught since Trump returned to the White House last year. Trump slapped broad tariffs on the northern neighbor and called for Canada to become the 51st US state. Carney has pushed back against Trump's trade policies while working to reduce Canada's economic reliance on the US. He has also drawn international attention by declaring the rules-based global order over and warning against the use of economic integration as a political weapon. Obiena's bid to return to the world top 10 continues to gain ground as he captures back-to-back gold medals after ruling the 30th International Pole Vault meeting in Jockgrim, Germany. Obiena clears 5.83 meters and beat Qatar's Saifeldin Abdel-Salam via countback to claim his 7th first-place finish of the year. It marks his second consecutive gold medal in Germany after his victory in the first international pole vault meeting in Halberstadt, where he tallied 5.76 meters. Obiena, the former world number 2, had said that a realistic goal for him is to once again crack the top 10. He's slowly working towards that target as he climbs to number 13 from number 14 last week in world rankings. Fresh off her first WTA Tour title, Eala opened her Canadian Open campaign with a 6-1, 4-6, 6-2 victory over American Alycia Parks in the round of 64. She avenged her loss to Parks at the first round of the Australian Open in January. Eala dominates Parks in the third set as she extended her winning streak. Seeded 25th and given a first round bye, Eala completed the win in 1 hour and 51 minutes. Eala will face another American, Katie McNally, for the first time on the WTA Tour. Eala aims to reach the fourth round of a WTA 1000 tournament for the first time since her Miami Open run in March. And that's today's wrap. I'm JC Gutinga. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. For more updates, download the wRap.